Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the 2023 Tour of Kerala. Today we're going to be riding from here. In fact, we're just outside Pollachi in Tamil Nadu, and we're going to head up to Kodaikanal, which is then going to be the base for the next 2 nights. So if you saw yesterday's video, you'll have seen we had a real variety of terrain. Apparently to get back up into the mountains, there's going to be a lot more switchbacks this time. So yeah, really looking forward to it. It's already pretty warm and humid down here, but looking forward to getting up into the Western Ghats just to see what the mountains are like and what our home for the next few days will be. So here we go, off on day 3. So today we're riding from here near Pollachi, and we're heading up into the mountains, up to about 1,600 meters above sea level. It's about a mile to Kodaikanal. So yeah, looking forward to lots more mountain roads, lots more switchbacks, and it should be a marvellous day. So just on this first bit, very similar to yesterday, I think the first 10 kilometers we're just going to ride back out through Pollachi, but then we're going to take a different mountain road to head further east. There's a lot of goods traffic out this morning. Morning cows. Oh, and here's another one. Must be a cow day. Interesting, we've got a cow and cart overtaking the bikes into a car that then had to stop, and then the cow and cart just about managed to sneak through. It's great what you see in India. I'm just going to let this other car come through now that cow's done his overtaking manoeuvre. He must be there, everyone else is getting a slipstream off him. So yeah, all good fun. Right then, off we go. One thing I always think is a marvel when I'm in India is you see these little scooters loaded up with more than you'd fit in, I think, most SUVs. I mean, I know it's all lightweight stuff, pots and pans, sort of plastic goods, but that really is epic, don't you think? I'm still heading out of Pollachi before we get to the mountains, and I guess this road is probably similar to an A road in the UK. I mean, I know there's no white lines up the middle, but it's easily wide enough for 2 cars. And if I'm honest, quite often 3, because you get cow carts doing things like that, with a car trying to get past and then a bike to get through as well. But the road surface is super smooth, like really smooth. I don't know if that is just because this is a new road. We're actually going pretty quickly, considering we took all day to do the 145 kilometres yesterday. And okay, we had quite a few breaks, and some of it was on trails and the like. They did say that today we would just zip along. We left half an hour later, and we'd still probably get in a bit earlier. And I can see why, because we are making excellent time, probably averaging between maybe 60 kilometres an hour and 80, 85, something like that, which might not seem a lot, but for India, when you share these roads, these little 50cc scooters and cows and trucks and buses that stop everywhere, it feels like we're making really, really good time. We're still heading out to the west, and we're just passing through these enormous coconut farms. It just seems to go on forever. I mean, it provides some nice shade for the road, and actually it funnels the wind down to a certain degree, so it's really comfortable to ride in, even though the bike is reading 31 Celsius. I've seen a load of coconuts around, and I know they use them for nearly everything, from a drink to making alcohol. I'm sure they use the husks for something as well. It's kind of cool to see this when you're used to seeing just fields of sheep or crops. So that's it, first stop of the day. We've been mainly riding along the flat, and it's the first fuel stop of the trip. On day 3, I'm kind of used to filling up 2-3 times a day when I'm touring across Europe, but we've not been doing high speeds, and I guess all these bikes are pretty economical and the distances haven't been massive. So yeah, we've made it to day 3 and now filling up. I think this is also where we're going to have the first rest stop for the day, just because they've got clean loos, which aren't on every street corner over here. So yeah, I think everyone's going to have a bit of a break, some salty snacks, and then we'll crack on for the hills. We've just had our stop for some fuel and a bit of rehydration. Heading back out now. Now it doesn't look like there's anything dead ahead of us, but if I look over that way, hopefully you can just about see the mountains just starting to peer through the dust and the mist. I suspect it's more dust in the air rather than actual mist, because it just seems to be a bit too hot. But yeah, you can just about see some of the mountains creeping through. The wind's definitely getting up as well, which is very refreshing, and hopefully we'll be climbing very soon. I do love driving through these little towns that we come to. It really is just chaos. I don't know if you can hear that tooting behind me. That's a truck who's very keen to get past. Very keen, here he comes. Other side of the road, no problem at all. Not sure where he's going to go when something like that other scooter comes towards him, but they always find a space. As I said at the beginning of the tour, it's like water, it all just flows, mixes amongst each other, and you don't really see that many accidents, which might be a bit of a surprise. It's true, I don't think I've seen a single crash since I've been here, despite everything. I'm sure when they are, they must be pretty catastrophic, as most people seem to ride in flip-flops, thongs for those of you down under, or even barefoot. At last I can see some mountains, and they're pretty much going straight up in front of me. So if we're going up into there, I'm guessing that there's some fun roads on the way. I think we've actually done about 2/3 of the distance. I think we must be getting on for sort of 80 kilometres, 90 kilometres, something like that. This should be fun. Hello, little dog. So that's it. We've started climbing up into the mountains, as you can see behind me. It's it's gone a bit hazy. It feels kind of humid, but you can see the plain that we've just ridden through down there. My GoPro on my chin did actually just stop working just as we got onto the first curve, so I'm quite glad we've stopped just a short distance up so I can sort that out. I think we've done about 100 kilometres, so we've only got another 45 to go. They did say it would be an early finish today, but if it's twisties like this, because we must have to go up another 3/4 of a mile, I can't believe we've come up more than maybe 400 metres, then I think it's going to be great. The bike's running well. I did have the bash guards removed because they were rubbing on my knees yesterday. It was a lot more comfortable. I still think the Himalayan seats aren't the best. Those of you that have Himalayans will either agree with me or think they're perfectly fine, but I think there's enough aftermarket seats out there that suggests maybe they're not completely perfect. At the end of this ride, I will do my sort of long-term thoughts, having ridden over 1,000 kilometres in a couple of weeks on a Himalayan here in India. What I think, I guess it's a kind of a review, but not the sort of reviews I normally do. Anyway, right, I'm going to go get a snack and then we're going to crack on up the hill. And off we go up the mountain, this time with this GoPro working. So like I say, we've got a mile to climb, back on twisty roads, which after that long session on the plain is quite nice. It was quite fun down there. It's a bit like being on A roads in the UK, but you do get the villages and the towns that come along, and most of them have speed bumps as you come and go, which does slow down the flow a little bit. But yeah, looking forward to riding up another mountain road to get up to Kodaikanal. And coming out through this road really is just so much fun. It is literally like being in the Alps or wherever you happen to live. We have a mountain range just with these twisty mountain roads, except it's just got this really good road surface and it's not busy. It's like the perfect of everything. All I'm missing is some blue skies. With all this sort of haze in the air, it's actually kind of a little bit grey, so it probably doesn't look as nice on the video. And here we have some monkeys. So the last bits haven't been particularly dramatic to look at. It's just been quite a lot of traffic going through similar sort of woodland to this, so I hope you don't mind that I skipped it. Oop. There's also lots and lots of other people on the roads going at various speeds. So it's pretty cold now actually compared. The bike now says 22 Celsius. I know it's always been reading a little bit high, so maybe it's something like 15. But yeah, definitely with the altitude, the bike seems to be coping very well. I guess even at a mile up, doesn't make that much difference. So I guess that up there must be Kodaikanal. I did lose whoever was ahead of me, just due to a coach, but hopefully I'll catch them up, or I'll find the marker on the junction fairly soon. That's Kodai Gate up there. Maybe that's the quick way into town. Looks like a slightly sleeper road. So coming up into here, it does remind me quite a lot of riding up into Shimla, seeing the steep hillsides and the houses up there. Here they all seem to be very brightly painted, and even if in this rather grey light, look quite dramatic. So yeah, I'm not actually sure how big Kodaikanal is. It does feel like it's bigger than Shimla as we come up. It seems that there's multiple hillsides and they're all just covered with buildings. I'm not quite sure how far it is to get to the hotel, but I'm sure we'll be there fairly shortly. So the traffic getting through here certainly seems to be fairly busy. People coming out from all sides, cows in the road, dogs in the road, people in the road. But I think we've all got partly used to that. Just coming out of Kochi originally, and then you get buses that just pull out. They're bigger, so I think they get right away. I think that's how it works, except there's people walking there, so I can't do that. That was exciting. So up here we have Kodaikanal Lake, just over on the left. So a group of people out cycling, haven't seen many of them around. Seems if you go horse riding you get led by a guy on a bike. Must be a thing. So I think we're just riding up here to get to the hotel. It's quite nice to stand up actually. Seem to have been sitting for a long time. Well, we're on day 3. It's been a really fun day. First thing, it was just a lot of fast flat roads across the plain, lots of animals and things to look at, lots of villages to go through, and then we had the big climb up through the mountains. Now unfortunately everything was a bit sort of clouded over, so I apologise that the video didn't have the lovely blue skies. For those of you suffering the cold back in the UK, you probably won't mind it, I guess you're used to it. So up here it feels like it's about 20 degrees at the moment. It feels quite comfortable if you're from the UK. If you come from an Australian summer, I believe it's pretty cold. So I think there's a few people feeling the sudden drop in temperature after we came up from the plane. So that's it for day 3. Day 4 is actually a rest day here, so I'm just going to do a few tourist things around Kodaikanal and hopefully catch up on editing the videos. So there won't be a video for day 4. If you see day 3 and then it jumps to day 5, that's why. Anyway, I hope that's been interesting and useful. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Hi there, this is day 4 of the trip, and today's a non-riding day. It's a tourism day and a chance for them to just check the bikes over. We're here in Kodaikanal and it's just really stunning. We're on a walkway that's around the city called Coker's Walk, which you can probably just about see behind me. It's just this brick-lined walkway. That isn't the bit that I wanted to show you. The reason why I actually got my camera out just now is because we've got an inversion layer today. So we're actually above the clouds, and all that grey that we were riding through yesterday, yeah, this is now what we have to behold. So you can kind of see some of the peaks just sticking out through it. But yeah, it's just really nice to be able to walk above the clouds. Got my sun cream on, and yeah, thought this was worth showing. So I'll tag it on to the end of the day 3 video. I won't do this as a separate video, as I know most of you come here for the motorcycling, but I thought this was worth a look because it was really stunning.